What's going on, everybody? My name is JeffreyJoslin, and you are listening to episode 7 of my thoughts on this and on that, and it's been a minute. And you might be thinking to yourself, man, where you been? Well, a lot of places. In fact, the amount of places I've been are slowly, or rather rapidly, dwindling. The places where I'm able to exist, but that's a story for another episode following this one. This episode is a interview with a gentleman by the name of Rob. Rob and I crossed paths, I want to say, back in 2015, 16, maybe even earlier than that. I can't remember exactly, but I got an email from someone out of the blue saying, hey, man, I found your music. I think it was like my Come Out West music video or something. And he was like, I have this company, and it's a great way for artists and songwriters to make some extra money. And basically we write songs for people as gifts. So let's say you're somebody who wants to give your significant other or a friend or a relative a gift in the form of a song, but not exactly sure how to write one. Well, you are in luck. This company, SongFinch, gives you an opportunity to share your information in a way that allows a songwriter like myself and many others and producers to write and record a personalized song in a high-quality format, and you can give it as a gift. It's a really cool way to give a gift. I can't imagine many other gifts coming close to something like that. Gift card doesn't really. It's hard to compete with a personalized song. So anyways, he and I met a while back, and I've been writing and recording personalized songs for probably thousands of people over the year. I've probably written thousands. At least 1,000, I think. Maybe not that many, but a lot. And it's a way that I've been able to support myself. I know it's helped a lot of other artists support themselves, but it's also a heck of a creative exercise as a songwriter, looking through somebody's information or details or memories, inside jokes, that sort of stuff about somebody that they want to communicate, and pulling out the little nuggets and formulating it into a song. It's a great exercise, I found, as a songwriter and a producer. It gave me an opportunity many times to try my hand at different sounds, just because, hey, I get to write a new song today, I get to create a new track. Let me try it in this style. Let me try it in this sound. And it was a lot of fun. Has been a lot of fun, and has helped sustain me, especially during a trying time as this, to make money where other folks might be looking for. The touring industry has kind of collapsed in a lot of ways, and live music and a lot of different things, studio. And so this has allowed me and many others to stay afloat during this time. So I had a chat with Rob, and you can hear that in just a second, but I want to let you know, before I get into it, you might have noticed you're unable to find me on certain platforms, and I'll get into it further in depth on another following episode. But we are living in a time of censorship that is really, I can't really describe the level of censorship that we're experiencing. Well, not everybody, to certain points of view, certain perspectives. And so, you won't find me on Instagram. You won't find me. I'm not sure if you can find me on Facebook. I think my Facebook page is still there, but I can't get into my Facebook. And I'm not on Twitter anymore. And so those folks have seen fit to silence folks with certain opinions or viewpoints that they don't agree with, and mine is one of those. So the best place now to find me is through my website. I still have my YouTube channel for the moment. I have this podcast. I have any place you can listen to digital music. Also SoundCloud. I've been adding a lot of stuff there, but mainly the website. If you want to know what's going on with me and find out the latest updates, go to my website, subscribe to my email list. That sort of thing is probably the best way. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to a good man by the name of Rob Lindquist, CEO and founder of SongFinch. Well, tell me a little bit, about your story, about where you come from, and your journey to SongFinch, and just give me an idea of the Rob Lindquist story.
Yeah, so I've always kind of dabbled in the music space. I started out as an intern for like a management company called Bandit Productions. We noticed at that time, this was probably 2007, we noticed all of our artists were being paid by tours or like branding opportunities. So we had some relationships at some of the big marketing agencies and ad agencies here in Chicago. So we basically just connected artists that we knew with the agencies looking for TV show or TV commercial songs and whatnot. So kind of saw that there was a lot of money and opportunity there. So then we launched a company in 2008 called Music Dealers, where we built a massive catalog of around 30,000 artists from all over the world. We did global campaigns for Coca-Cola, Airbnb, all of Coke's brands, every TV show you can think of. So kind of saw firsthand like the power of music and how brands used it and how TV shows used it. And that really got me interested. And then the relationships that I was building with artists at that time was the best part. Like calling an artist and saying, "Hey, we just licensed your song for $40,000." Like that's a game changer.
Absolutely.
So that was real exciting. So two of the co-founders from Music Dealers left and then approached me about the idea of SongFinch, basically bringing the power of one to millions that like the brands do to like a one-to-one level.
Mm-hmm.
So we launched that in 2016 just to kind of test the waters and see what we could get, see if there was interest. And the music that we were getting was incredible. The reactions were incredible. People were crying. So we're like, okay, I think we have something here. And then since then, we've just kind of been grinding, figuring out marketing, educating people on like what a personalized song is, just because that idea and just like the first sound of personalized songs, you kind of think is corny and cheeky and funny, and I'm going to make fun of my friend. And it's a lot more than that. And the quality in which we're getting, because technology allows artists to record in their bedrooms and sound like they went to a studio, just kind of allows us to do what we do and deliver songs that feel like they should be on the radio. So
Totally.
we've been chugging on this for 4 years now, and things really started picking up this year. And with COVID, it's been an awesome experience being able to supplement some artists' income that kind of is canceled from gigs being canceled and whatnot, and being able to kind of sit home and make music and be paid for it like right away. So
Absolutely.
it's been an adventure.
Yeah, no, I'm curious. So before you got into, the management space, what did you go to school for? Marketing? Would you have a music background? What brought you into that space?
So my brother owned a record label here in Chicago when I was in middle school, and basically I came out here every weekend. I'm from a suburb of Chicago, so like 30 minutes west. I would come out here and basically sleep at the studio and just work and learn, and engineering became interesting to me, and just the culture of music and creating and seeing like what goes into these just really, really interested me. So I tried school for a year, kind of realized it really wasn't for me. So then I jumped into the internship, and I learned so much there. And I always had in the back of my mind, like, if school is for me eventually, like it's not going anywhere. So internship, I learned way more than school could teach me about music industry and that sort of thing. So yeah, I didn't study anything. I just kind of I'm a very curious person. I always
Okay.
want to know how things are done,
Yeah.
kind of open something up and see how the gears turn and whatnot. So
Okay.
I would just teach myself, and I'm kind of addicted to solving problems. So like that's
Yeah.
kind of
I
kind
bet
of.
you. I bet that makes you a great husband.
Oh yeah, I'm always looking for projects around the house. My wife laughs at me. She's like, "Wait, what are you doing this weekend?" So quarantine has definitely turned that up.
Yeah. So when you were younger, did you have a tendency towards like um being entrepreneurial, or like would you like you're saying, did you take stuff apart and see how it worked? Like were there any like telltales looking back that would say like, this is probably what he's gonna do?
Um, Actually, when I was younger, I wanted to be a professional baseball player. Like
Me too,
that was
me
my
too.
yeah. So it was like, and then once you get older, you're like, man, this takes a lot of commitment. So you got to
Yeah.
base your life around. So that didn't
What,
work.
what
Uh,
position were you?
I was a pitcher
Me
and then
too.
right field.
Okay. How fast could you throw it?
Shit, I don't, man, I was in middle school, so
Oh, okay.
probably like high 60s maybe.
Okay, high 60s. All right. All right.
Yeah,
Nice.
I was a chunky kid, so I had some power behind me. So,
Okay.
um,
Nice.
but I was coordinated, so that's and I
Right
feel like
on.
baseball sets you up to be coordinated for at least be decent at all the other sports. But that's a whole
Absolutely.
other combo.
That's cool.
Um,
So you had a sports background, so you had kind of, the discipline that comes with that, and the, setting goals, moving towards, achieving and winning, that sort of thing.
yeah, and super competitive.
Yeah.
One of my co-founders for SongFinch is my brother, so like me and him.
Okay.
I mean, we've always just been competitive, but like at this, like we'll get in a conference room and like we'll debate for like 20 minutes on something, and then like right when we're done, we're like, damn, that's the answer. And like it's just like we're stubborn to a sense, and then
Yeah.
we like to get things done and solve problems in the end, and it helps having a good team around you. So that's something I've always based my entire career off of, is like trusting the people you're with to do what you bring them in to do, and no micromanaging, and everyone has a say at the table. And I think that's really important to building anything.
Absolutely. Well, you've definitely built that culture, being an artist with Songfinch. Like, one thing I've always appreciated is kind of the relaxed environment. Yeah, there's no micromanaging. Like, you seem to be like, you're really good at speaking artist language and conversing,
Yeah.
between, and being a middleman between the clients and stuff like that. But anyways, so all right, so you started song. You said when you first started, it was your brother, and who else was the founders of
It was
Songfin?
me and the old legal counsel at Music Dealer. So his name's Josh Kaplan. He runs a management company now and a lawyer firm. So we raised a little bit of money at the beginning to just test the concept and run with it. So it was
Yeah, so talk about like how you built it. Like, did you kind of strategize it out? You said, all right, we're going to need X amount of artists. We're going to need, and then yeah, talk about the process of how you kind of built it.
yeah, it's been a roller coaster. Um, so yeah, we started. I did a lot of the custom music at my past agency, or at the
Okay.
past licensing company.
Yeah.
So dealing with Coca-Cola that needs a certain song, like it's on a whole different level than like a customer that wants a song for their daughter's birthday. So I
Sure.
was used to like super picky stuff, and I had a bunch of relationships with artists that could make songs on spec really quick.
Yeah.
We probably started with, I would say, maybe 20 artists, not too crazy. I just wanted to see kind of what quality we would get at that point, at that price point, and kind of like how the system would work. It
Yeah.
was honestly just a Google form at the beginning. And
Hmm.
I'm a super organized, color coded person, so I like
Okay.
kept track of it all on a spreadsheet,
Okay.
which now looking back is kind of a disaster, but it worked at that time. Um, so yeah, just kind of tweaking from there. Then from the Google sheet, when things worked out a little better, and we got some money, we built some technology around it, which is just like a submission form. And from there until now, basically just keep adding new bells and whistles to ensure customers getting what they want. Like, hey, here's an artist I heard, I want them. So like, let's get a box where artists can, or customers can suggest artists.
Okay.
Um, People will be like, hey, I wanted my husband's name in there, but you didn't give us your husband's name. So now there's an option of like, do you want your husband's name? Yes or no. So a lot of the things you've been making songs with us for years now, so you've kind of seen some of the changes along the way, and it's just been like
Absolutely.
an evolution of how can we cut down customer service inquiries, how can we increase customer satisfaction of like digging inside their brain and knowing what they want if
Yeah.
they have some sort of vision in their head, because like basically we only know what you give us.
Yep. That's
So
true.
so yeah, so like if you're making a song and someone says like baseball games, and then you make a song and they're like, hey, oh, I actually wanted you to talk about the St. Louis Cardinals baseball game. They're like, you didn't mention
Tell
that.
me
So
that.
for sure. So like
Yeah.
just like prying it out of there and educating people on how many details can fit. We used to get Word docs of details for a song, and I'm like, unless we're making a double album, like this is way too much. So yeah, it's been fun, but it's just been an evolution piece by
Yeah.
piece.
So
Um,
when you did the first, like you're saying, the spreadsheet thing, like,
mhm,
okay, you put up a website, you bought the domain,
mhm.
and you said you had like a contact form, and then did you do Facebook ads? Like, how did you get it out to people to push this new idea?
It was just word of mouth at the beginning.
Okay.
Um, we tried a lot of like grassroots stuff, contacting bloggers one by one, trying
Okay.
to give them free songs to do a write up. Um, it was always tough for Facebook with us because it was hard within an attention span of say 5 seconds of what people really pay attention to an ad, like getting across what we do and the power of it.
Yeah.
So I think we finally cracked that this year with some we got a really good reveal video that we use of a family in a car that surprised the wife with it. So
Okay. Nice.
it was honestly just like a lot of grassroots. We hired a PR agency to do some stuff here in Chicago, which got us some stuff, but it was really early to like think about personalized songs and what it actually is. It needed a little bit more like power behind it, which is why the write ups on blogs worked a little bit better.
Yeah.
Uh, and then we got into podcasts, where podcast ads were really cheap at the time because
Hmm.
it was just starting to boom. So
Okay.
so we kind of, I mean, we basically were like, hey, we're gonna buy a 60-second ad. We're gonna give you a song. Please get one to someone you care about, like not a funny theme song. A lot of them got it from one host to another. And I was like, instead of an ad, can you just talk about SongFinch for 10 seconds and then play 50 seconds of the song? That's all we want you to do.
Okay.
And those 60-second ads turned into like
So
7 or 8 minute pieces.
you reached out to prominent and successful podcasters,
Mm-hmm.
like almost like influence, like this would be like hitting up influencers on social media or whatever.
For sure. And we hit the jackpot with a few of those shows where we got them where right before they were about to really blow up, and now they're on like Spotify top 10 lists. And with
Nice.
podcasts, if you listen to an episode now, you're gonna like go back and listen to like all of it.
Totally. Yeah.
So like we got really lucky there. It was kind of, now I contacted a podcast agency, and a lot of podcasts now are doing like, you buy an ad in September and you get it there in September, then we swap them out. Like
I
so
see.
they're running them a little differently now, as they don't last forever like they used to.
I see.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. So, okay, you got 4 years now, and you started off with 20 artists, you said?
Yeah.
How many artists do you have now?
We have around 300 artists.
Holy moly.
We're very selective with who we let on, just because a lot of our quality control comes up front.
Yeah.
We have a 7-day turnaround. So if you deliver a song in 5 days and it's not really good, or something's wrong, like changing that around, like it just puts us in a bad spot. So we do all the quality control up front to make sure the artist can record well, the song sounds good, and they can fit what we do.
I gotcha. And so how many songs you've done up to this point?
I think around 6,000.
Oh my gosh. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it's been fun, man. It's seeing the reaction. I'm sure you've been contacted by a lot of customers you've made songs for. It's rewarding like nothing else.
Absolutely. I could say personally, like, there's so many things. Obviously, the monetary aspects, like, I mean, if you've got 300 artists, like, how, like, I guess my question is like the inner workings of like when a song comes in or a song request, you try and get as much information up front as possible so you know who to send it to. Or
Yeah.
sometimes people ask for certain artists based off the website. Like, how
Mhm.
does that process work?
Yeah. So real quick, the next stage of SongFinch is we're going to be building artist profiles, which will
Okay.
allow artists to sell their own merch, which will allow artists to like sell products like maybe video experiences or whatnot. And then people will be able to find them and request them there, which will make the like assignment process easier. But right now, everything comes in. It's very manual. I look at every submission and make sure there's enough info.
Yeah.
See kind of who fits the best. I mean, we got artists that um, there's honestly way too much in my brain, but we are building technology. But there's artists that are better with a lot of details. There's artists that are better with few details. Um,
Yeah.
there's certain styles. After doing 6,000 songs, you kind of realize like certain terms customers use that mean certain things or
Yeah.
whatnot. So that's kind of the secret sauce of doing this so long, of knowing like kind of who to pair with what based on what the customer says and whatnot. So everything
Yeah.
is assigned based on customer um, suggesting vocalist gender, style, song mood,
Yeah.
and all that sort of stuff. So it's a fun, interesting, careful process which can make or break a song.
Yeah. And I guess what I was saying before is like if you have 300 artists, each doing, I mean, I know how many songs I've done just this year alone and what that's done for me. I mean, that's a, I mean, number one, it's a genius idea. Number two, what the monetary value you've been able to bring to artists is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Creating that number of songs is unbelievable. And I know for me, like on top of it just being a valuable resource of work, it's like I'm a better songwriter because of SongFinch. Like you have to be clever, you get information from these clients and it kind of is a songwriting exercise to like, and sometimes they give you just pure gold, some of
Yeah.
these, because they're, the ones that give you the more information, the better, because you can find these little nuggets in there. But I guess like talk about what, your feedback has been from artists, their experience in working with you and working with like, what have you heard from them as far as how the process is or what this has done for them?
Yeah, I mean, kind of mirroring what you said. First of all, like the monetary aspects. I mean, I've been in music a long time, and as have you, and being paid immediately for making music just is kind of unheard of, which is strange. Um, on the other end, like artists have always seemed to get the short end of the stick in the industry.
Yeah.
So I've always wanted to create something that like empowers artists to be able to create, kind of stay away from waiting tables and doing Uber and
Yeah.
in the studio. And the way that we built our agreement is like artists retain the publishing of all their songs they make. So like you said, if someone gives you a nugget of gold and you're like, man, that chorus was really good, like you can use that on your album, swap some verses out, like make it a little bit more general. We've had artists that have done that. And from the customer point of view, they're so excited that they helped inspire a song that ended up on an album.
That's cool.
So yeah, from that, I've had artists quit coffee gig jobs because they're finally making enough money, making more than they did there in half the time. And then an artist told me the other day that this has helped them break out of like creative ruts. Like as you
Totally.
kind of mentioned, it helps you think differently, and it helps.
Yep.
It's an exercise, so it gets your brain. Maybe if you're just in the mud and you're like, I don't know where to go, like it forces you to go somewhere else, because some of these customers write the songs without even knowing it. So
Absolutely, they do.
so yeah, it's been really positive. We've had a lot of artists that have worked with us and taken a break to go on tour or do whatever, and then they come back. They're like, man, I kind of miss doing this, and especially now during COVID, like I need something to supplement my income. The gigs are canceled, so it's a nice. It's been fun, and it's been really rewarding putting hundreds of thousands of dollars back into the artist community.
Absolutely. And you guys, I will say, without giving too much away, you guys are very generous with, what you're able to do and what you're able to offer to the artist. So talk a little bit about, just what you guys physically offer. Like you started off with custom songs,
Mm-hmm.
and then you moved into more of, and maybe you still, I guess you still do that some, but a lot of it nowadays is what's called foundation songs,
Yeah.
which is, I thought that was a really great kind of step forward as far as, I don't know, talk about that decision-making process and what that has done, or the, kind of potential drawbacks, or I'm interested in that. Yeah.
So we started with complete songs from scratch, which with scale wise, it was always tough. Like getting a lot of artists, like getting a song for anywhere between $199 and $300 is a steal if you really know what goes into it and you've been in the music space. So
Sure.
from an average consumer that hasn't bought an album on iTunes since 2002, like they're like, why are your songs so expensive? So
Right.
just educating a lot of that. So we started with songs from scratch, which were completely made from scratch. That went well, but a lot of people are like, I want to hear the songs first. So then we added another product called Song Foundations, which allowed you to hear the chorus before you customized it. But again, explaining and educating people before purchase of what this is and what this product is and what you get and what verses are and what a bridge could be, like, was super confusing. So we're like, all right, this is what we do. We build personalized songs. This is how much it costs, and they're built multiple different ways. We have some artists that reuse instrumentals. We have lines from songs that could be reused, but only if it fits what the client wants. So one thing that I did learn after 4 years is in 6,000 songs is like, while everyone's relationship is super unique, there's a lot of similarities to them. Everyone, I love you to the moon and back. Everyone, you supported me. Like there's certain things that, like,
yeah, you've always been there. You helped me through this time.
You've written way too many songs. You know exactly all of them that come along with it. But
absolutely, I know. There's like, I have a foundation song that's Perfect Match, and it seems like those are all the ones that met on Match.com, or some kind of amalgamation of an online. I can't believe how many people have met on these types of websites.
Just as a side note, I'm trying to get that into Match.com. I just want someone there to hear it and be like, damn, we got a new theme song. So I'm working on it. That song is one of my favorites. And when I play it, my wife is on maternity leave here, and she starts singing that throughout the day because she hears me play that when I'm listening to it. But
oh man, I bet the repertoire that your wife has heard, or like, some of these foundations, they got to get stuck in your head from all these different artists, all these different, and you're listening to them all the time. I'm sure it's like it gets stuck in your head big time.
Yeah. So yeah, it's basically just making sure that whatever song we deliver is as personalized and to the story as we get it, no matter how it's made. And when whoever hears it, they're like, wow, this is the most personalized thing ever. So like, it's really kind of fun, like puzzle piecing and making sure and figuring out what the best route for this brief is. Cause sometimes we'll get things where it's like, my husband's on a radio show and he just got an award, and like, we've never made a song like that. So like, let's figure out who fits that and how we go from there. So it's fun, challenging, and it definitely wears you out every single day doing this, but it's rewarding.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The rewarding aspect. Like, I always just think about, if I was, being a songwriter, you don't really get that privilege of what it would be like to not be a song, or the idea of like looking at it from the outside. But I always just think to myself, like, it'd be like the equivalent of me. Like if John Mayer or somebody like that I respected, or was, capable of writing a great song, wrote a song about me, it would be unbelievable.
Yeah.
To listen to that and have all my personal information in there, and all of the emotional energy that comes with just listening to a song and things in music would just be, I'm sure, to be super overwhelming. Yeah, especially if it's a super a anniversary, or sometimes it's like people have been through really hard times, and they're this memorializes a point in their life or whatever. So a couple last few questions. Like, this has been really informative, and even some stuff I didn't know as someone who does work for SongFinch. But
Mhm.
what are some of your goals for the future? Like sometimes I get little inside quips as far as like where you'd like things to go, or you seem like somebody that like you examine the music industry from a lot of different perspectives and see the holes or potential opportunities. What are some, maybe without giving away too much, like where are some things you'd like this to go?
Yeah. Well, first, my goal since I started and still is like, I want to continue to become like a trusted, immediate source of income for artists that are trying to continue their career in the music industry. Take them out of Ubers, take them out of waiting tables, and be able to do this. Get
Hmm.
better at producing, get better at recording, get better at songwriting, and that's one of my goals. But as far as a platform, I want to get this. I want to get a lot more artists on here. I want to become like a go-to gift for. I mean, it's a song. You can use it for any occasion, from anniversaries to weddings to baby births to deaths to, not to sound morbid, but like some of the memorial songs you make are some of the most powerful things you ever like. I'll get goosebumps listening to them, and I don't even know the people. Um,
Right. A song can really transcend and help you through some of the most
yeah,
difficult times.
yeah, and like the feedback we get from that makes every low of building this worth it, and every high
Mm.
you gotta manage everything. But yeah, I want to build this out. I want to continue to develop features and new offerings that can get the songwriters kind of thinking outside the box and utilizing their skills and continuing to get better while making money for it, and then continue offering super personalized experiences for customers. Like on another note we never even touched on is like the fan bases that we're building, like the connection that you may get from Bob in Alabama that's never heard of you before, but you made a song for his wife's anniversary, and maybe you're on tour and they're like, "I'm gonna take my wife there." Like the connection there, or maybe even buying your newest album because they've listened to your voice so many times. And um, I mean,
Oh,
I,
that's such a deeper connection than any fan would ever get. Like I was
right.
listening to a podcast recently, and Andy Grammer was on there,
Mhm.
and he talked about a period of his career, and maybe he still does this, but he was like, "Send me an email if you're going through something. I'll write you a song."
Mhm.
And how he would do this for people, even if it was just like real quickly put it together. But
Mhm.
I'm sure that created such an, like you're saying, that's a whole nother level of connection with fans,
For sure.
that become friends and even like almost like family. Like
Yep.
they've told you their deepest, darkest. I mean, some of the stuff
Sure.
you get is so outrageous,
Yeah.
and so and on the other side, so meaningful and so kind of intimate that
Mhm.
they're trusting you, and
Yep.
you're given an opportunity to like really speak some really cool things into their life, or yeah, immortalize their relationship that is so meaningful in a way that I don't think I can't imagine many other things coming close to that.
For sure. And like, yeah, which is a total side note, is like something we've had trouble on is reaction videos, because you'll start playing them and like it takes a second to be like, it's not like opening a gift and first time you see it you freak out. It's more like,
Like, what's
wait,
going on here?
wait, how'd you do this? Like it's like a sense of that second time they'll really get it and like start bawling. And like, so that's why that's been one of the marketing challenges, back to the first question I believe you asked.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, in the future, I think there's a lot to go, and like the music industry continues to kind of shift. There's more musicians than ever, and at the same time, like the personalized gifting industry is continuing to boom, and everyone wants to give something that is unexpected and means something, and kind of shows you care and know more about just ordering something on Amazon or whatnot. So just kind of continuing to grow with that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, there are certain buying habits of, millennials and younger. What's the following? Is it Gen Z?
Gen
What's
Z?
yeah, so
Yeah.
like, and one of the things that they talk about is these folks are more interested in experiences. They're
Yep.
more interested in authentic and real, um yeah, experiences. And this is
Yep.
like really tapping into the ability to give somebody something so unique. So we're like to kind of close out, I guess, like, what would you say to, artists out there that are trying to thrive in this day and age? Like, it's definitely, you've been around the music industry long enough to
Mm-hmm.
see all the ways it's changed so drastically.
Yeah.
Um, there are positive and negatives, like you can get your music to somebody on the other side of the planet, but you got to do like a lot of the work that maybe like the label would have done
For
before.
sure.
Like, so talk a little bit about that. Like, what do you see as far as like the future of music making and artists being kind of at the helm of their own careers?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's an industry that's going to continue to boom just because like humanity needs it. And I don't think that'll ever change. I, I mean, I don't spend much time outside of work not listening to music, which I don't know if that's good or bad, but like you kind of just need it. And as far as artists now, it's kind of just like seeing what is at your fingertips and like how you can take advantage of it. Like a lot of people talk down on Spotify, which I totally understand both sides. But like Spotify isn't going anywhere. And a
Right.
lot of the new, like Gen Z, like that's how they get their music. They may have never went to a Target on Tuesday and bought a new CD that just dropped. Like,
And they're like, what's a CD?
right. Like, what is that thing? So they may not have done that. So like, cool, Spotify, how can you get your streams up and how can you take advantage of that? How can you build like a loyal following around that? Like, I think it's a little past. I mean, he's a lot bigger now, but like, I think Chance the Rapper did a pretty good job of like staying independent and kind of like I'm gonna build a fan base in Chicago, which is where he's from, and just kind of like spread it from there, and then build relationships. Like everything is networking, everything's relationships, everything is taking advantage of opportunities that are given to you, and everything is timing. And there's luck built inside of everything as well. Like it's I think one of the reasons I have such a good relationship with a lot of the artists that I work with is like I feel like building a business from zero is very similar to building your career as an artist from zero.
Absolutely.
Like you go through the same highs, you go through the same lows, you go through the same hurdles. So like I think that's kind of why I empathize and we can kind of connect on a different level because a lot of these people that may have just been like thrown into a label position or whatnot and have to hit certain quotas and care only about sales. Like I've never been in that position, so I kind of have a different outlook similar to they have or
Yeah.
all the artists have. So to me, it's just continue to grind, take advantage of opportunities, and network and try to and to just do good. Like I feel like you do good stuff will come back to you. It's
Yeah.
kind of my motto of SongFinch since I built. I've always said if artists are happy and customers are happy, like we'll be good because then word spreads and things just keep snowballing downhill.
Absolutely. So if artists are wanting to get involved with Songfinch, what would you say to them? Like, what do they need to be prepared to be able to do? And what set of tools should they maybe equip themselves with to be able to get in the position to benefit from what Songfinch offers?
Yeah. So basically, technology now has changed, has allowed us to do what we do. So you can buy a MacBook and it comes with GarageBand and you can make incredible songs on there if you have a decent mic. So um, basically, every artist that comes to us, we just ask that you can produce the song. So say play a piano and vocals, guitar and vocals. If you want to add percussion on there, like as complex as you want, we offer different genres, and based on the style and the complexity of your song, you'd fall in different ones. Um, and then be a good songwriter and be able to kind of paint pictures with your lyrics. That's very important. Um, while the music craft and how well you can play a guitar is great, like the song lyrics drive what we do.
Mhm.
So it can be a simple guitar loop and instrumental, and as long as the lyrics, the melody, and the song is catchy, people will love it. And
Yeah.
we're not looking for anything super complex. Just um, yeah, just be able to make songs. What do you record on?
Do I? It's been a variety of things.
Yeah.
Um, I was a studio guy, so it's like very much a fun world for me. But I've done everything from especially with you guys, I've done everything from Pro Tools to Logic to when I was in California at my brother's, there was an analog 8-track. Like one thing SongFinch has been for me was it's like you said, it's a creativity booster. So like I think early on in SongFinch, I was able to. It gave me an opportunity every day to try something new.
Yeah.
It's like an excuse to like, let's see, and that's why you have like the plethora of like sounds from me because it's like I just want to have fun today and try and grow and learn. So there's tunes that I did that are fully produced, some that literally was like all live to analog tape. Like I remember there was like a Beatles one, like they wanted one like a Beatles. And I was like, dude, I want to see how close I can get this to sound like the Beatles. And it's all like a growing. I mean, I guarantee you, I'm a better songwriter because of SongFinch, because I've probably written, I don't know, it's got to be definitely in the hundreds, maybe even close to 1,000 songs. I don't know. I know I have folders that like I'll go back through sometimes and be like, man, some of these are so cool, like the melodies even, or like the tracks, or but yeah, and then some of them, like there was a time where I was using that little it's called a Spire. It's just like its own little, there's so many different ways that you can make stuff. I think for me, one thing that it's always been important to me is like, it doesn't matter what you're creating on, it's all about the ear and can you get it to sound good, and is the song great, kind of thing. And I try anytime I come across songwriters that are looking to, not everybody takes my advice, but I always recommend SongFinch to them because it's been such a blessing in my life. It's like Mother's Day or Valentine's Day or these holidays come around, and I mean, you're talking like an extra $2,000 in your pocket. Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but like, I mean, that's a game changer for real. Like, in addition to whatever you might be doing, the ability to, and it's dependent on your ability to work quickly. That's something that I've always been able to do, is work quickly, get things done quickly. And, and working with you guys, like I get them done and you send me more. So it's like, it's kind of like, how much do you want to do?
Right.
Which has been an awesome thing. But
that's another goal. I want this to be like, I'm an artist. I come to SongFinch and like, hey, I would love to make $5,000 a month. Cool. We got you. This is what we need from you. Like that sort of thing. I want people to come here and be like, this is my max. Like, hit me with it. And that's, and we're getting there. I mean, we had an artist last month make around $7,000 with us.
Holy moly.
So like he was churning out songs, but like he was so excited. And then he just texted me yesterday and said that him and his wife also writes with us.
Nice.
So they just went on a 3-week road trip where I didn't even know, where they would write songs in the car together and then record them in the hotels. And basically this helped pay for the road trip. So
that's amazing.
It's cool. And like we could like help fund tours. Like that could be a campaign that we do down the road as well. So there's it's fun and it's rewarding. It's good to see being able to put money in people's pockets that are doing good in the world.
And you're still, are you still approaching this from a licensing perspective too? Like I remember early on you were talking about building a catalog to be able to, because I know there was like, I don't know, it was like 2 or 3. It was like you had some meetings with some branding folks, or, we wrote some songs to try and get at certain people. Is that still a part of your business plan, or have you put that to the side, or what?
I think that's something that will come naturally.
Okay.
Right now, I think we focus on B2C, and then we continue to develop ourselves as like a huge network of artists that can make incredibly powerful, emotional music, and like brands are going to be all over that. I think that's when some of those conversations will be a lot easier to get into. That's
because you've positioned yourself as the ideal for music supervisors and licensors and film, which is a one-stop shop. It's like you come to us and we have a team of people that can create whatever you want.
Exactly. I mean, you throw JeffreyJoslin on it, he can make you Beatles, he can make you Jack Johnson tomorrow, he can make you AC/DC the next day.
And if he can't do it, there's 299 others that could make whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. Well, dude, I really appreciate your time. This is like it's funny because as long as I've done work with you guys, this has been like
Yeah.
informative to me, even as far as like, the process and stuff. So
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I'm eternally grateful for what you guys have created and excited to see where things go for myself and all the other artists and other artists that benefit from this as well.
Yes, sir. I appreciate being part of it.
One last thing. You just had a daughter.
Yes.
How's that?
Man, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's wild, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I texted you like the day or two after. It's just like a love that you've never felt before as a first time parent. You on like the flip side, you kind of just get used to little sleep.
Man, no no sleep.
Yeah, so yeah, it's an interesting time for the business to be kicking off while you have a newborn at home, but it's a balancing act and it's fun, and I just thank God my wife is such a trooper through it all and really helping hold everything down while I work every day.
Man, you really get to see the resiliency and the power in your wife when number one, just pushing that thing out by itself. It's like, oh man. And then, carrying it and giving birth. And then after that, you see there's like a thing that happens in both of you where it's like all of a sudden you become like Navy SEALs overnight.
Yeah, I read an article that women have something that lights up in their brain for like a motherly instinct that the men don't have.
Totally.
So I've always been like, all right, she has this instinct, and you could see it. Like the baby will make a noise at night, and she comes out of bed.
They get like superhuman hearing. There's like little things that I'm sure there's definitely physical. But there's a saying that somebody told me before my daughter was born. I think it's a Jewish saying. It's with a baby comes a loaf of bread. And I think there is something about bringing a child into the world that the universe or God or whatever you like to say comes along with it. Like especially with SongFinch and what you guys are doing, you're bringing so much joy into the world. And I think probably the fact that you've brought another human into the world and what's going to come with that is probably another level up. If I had to, give my 2 cents about what's coming. So try and get as much sleep as you can. But I think the best days are ahead for SongFinch and everything you guys are doing.
And I hope so. In the worst case, like you just gotta raise them right and continue to put good in the world. Out of any time in the entire world, we need it right now. So let's continue to push forward and put as much positivity in existence as possible.
That's it. You guys are a much needed entity at the moment.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, man, I appreciate it. Thanks for your time, and let's keep on keeping on and making some music for folks who need it.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
You got it, man.
All right, I'll talk to you.
All right, take care.